Alright guys, what is up? Jinsei Kane is here with something that I've wanted to talk about even before I started this YouTube thing. It's been irking me for like a pretty long time, and I might get a lot of feedback for this, bad feedback for this, but I seriously just feel like I need to do this. So what I'm going to talk about right now is Sword Art Online, the second half, which would be Sword Art Online, Alphem Online. And the thing is, I'm going to be entirely honest about this. I did like that series. I did like the second half. I know a lot of people hate on it, like a lot, but I liked it. So I've just been looking around the forums a lot today, and I went and got together the main reasons why people don't seem to like Sword Art Online, Alphem Online. So I've got three reasons here that I want to build upon from the forums, and then just another point that I want to bring out. And just so you know, I'm going to say from now, there are spoilers, not just about the anime, but I suppose this is going to go into the entire light novels in themselves. Not entirely a major spoiler, but it contributes a lot to the story and where I feel as though it's been heading. So let's go ahead and get right into the first one, which is basically how people have been saying that the show seemed to lose its meaning. It seemed to become less exciting because they took away the if you die in the game, you die in real life aspect. And I guess this seems like the most minor one, and this is where the spoiler is definitely going to come in. Because while it is true that yes, the show has most definitely deviated from this, we're trapped inside the game, then the show has actually drifted away from this and gone into a more important, into a bigger plot. It's taken a wider view of things. Because yes, they've been freed from the game, the series in a whole is Kirito finding himself in different MMOs, different MMORPGs that have been created as an effect of releasing the seed that was used to create Sword Art Online and making it available for everybody. So while this is happening, then there are in Gun Gale Online, then there is a killer who kills people in game and they end up dying in real life. Kirito was sent in there to investigate. In Alphem Online, as we know, Kirito has gone in to find Asuna. And in Alicization, then this is quite the major spoiler, but in the light novels, in Alicization, in the Alicization series, then Kirito finds himself in not necessarily a virtual reality per se, but in technically an entirely new different virtual world where he has no means to escape and where he's helping out his newfound friend Yu-Gi-Oh to find his friend Alice, who was taken by the capital. But what's interesting is a minor thing that Kirito has always been mentioning, something that has been present in the entire series, is that this show has drifted away, as I said before, from the we're trapped in a game, and what its focus seems to be now is what was Kayaba Akihiko planning, because it did not seem as though he had entirely evil reasons for creating Sword Art Online. It was nothing about that. It seemed as though he was trying to achieve something bigger than just trapping people in a game and killing them. Almost like he wanted to create something new, almost as though he wanted to make his own world of some sort, or to try to bring mankind itself to a different level. And so this is where everything starts to come together. This is like Kirito following some of the major things that are occurring after the release of the seed to discover why it is that Kayaba Akihiko did this. What is his purpose? So yes, the show isn't about we're trapped in a game and we have to escape. It's taken on a much more complicated idea in my mind. That's what it seems like, as to not just we need to escape, but what was the ultimate goal of this man Kayaba Akihiko? Because even now he's still prominent in every chapter, in every book, and we still don't know much about him as it is. The second point here is I'm using the exact words of somebody who was on the forum. What they did with Asuna's character is a travesty, and she wasn't that amazing a character in the first place. Now, I will admit, I was relatively disappointed to see that Asuna was reduced to nothing more than plot in Alpha Online. Kirito went in to rescue Asuna, and that's basically all that she did for the entire second half of Sword Art Online. She played the damsel in distress. But part of the reason why I feel this occurred was so that it could fit the context that Fairy Dance, that Alphem Online took place in, because it was a much more of a fantasy type MMO. It wasn't as serious as Sword Art Online. It had fairies, while it was still very Sword Art Online-y. Then it had a much stronger fantasy aspect behind it, with all the characters playing fairies. And Asuna being nothing but a plot, while I can see why some people are upset about it, it is true that she wasn't a strong character to begin with. And I know some people are going to say, well, it would have been better if they didn't make Alphem Online at all. But think about what the series would be like if they decided to continue and the entire show was Asuna and Kirito doing things in the different MMOs. This couple that has already been established is going around doing these things. I think that very quickly then that might get very old, and that's not going to help the story progress in any way, especially because Asuna, as we saw in some of the final episodes of the first half of Sword Art Online, Asuna was just basically a normal girl. She was really strong in battle, but she took on a much more girly aspect with like Yui when she was the mother, and when they went on their date to the river and everything. Then she was more of a normal girl who was thrown into this. So to have her going back and forth and going into these MMOs with Kirito wouldn't work, because something about Kirito that makes him an interesting character is that he's not an interesting person. And he knows this. Kirito is that person who isn't interesting in real life. So what he has done, what he has tried to do, is create his own image, to create his own personality through online games. What we see in Sword Art Online, what we see in any of the MMOs, isn't always Kirito's normal self. This is his alias. And Asuna does not fit this alias very often. She fits more under the normal girl life who will occasionally play video games. So while she was forced to do things differently in Sword Art Online, if she continued going through this with Kirito, then I just don't think that it would contribute to the story in any way, and I don't think it would help at all. And the third point that I want to point out is Suguha, Kirito's sister slash cousin. And everybody hates on this. They say that it's incest, they say that it's creepy, but I hate to see this because people are missing the point. And what's the point? Let's look at it honestly. Japan is weird to us. And I guess in their instance, then there are lots of places where incest may still seem weird, but it's not something that's absolutely disgusting and that we need to shirk off and whatever. So What it is, it's not Kirito and his sister slash cousin having sex. It's not Kirito and his sister making out. It's nothing like that. What we're seeing is this young girl who admires her older family member. And then this person is taken away from her for a year. And she's with the rest of her family and she's grieving and she's hoping he comes out okay, and he finally does. Now, this is a year of feelings that has built up, and it's entirely possible that it's admiration that turned into love. And then what happens is, while she began playing Alpha Online, she encounters somebody else. And as she journeys with him, as she progresses through this world, then she begins to feel an attachment for him as well. So what's happening is she's trying to battle her feelings for this strange person that she has discovered, this intriguing person who she may have feelings for in an online world, and for her older brother who she knows is wrong to fall in love with him. And then what happens is she discovers that they're the exact same person. So what we see here is a young girl put inside one of the most devastating situations that you could imagine. Because not only is what she doing relatively wrong, not only does she know it's wrong for her to love her family member, now not only can she not have him, but she can't have this character that she encountered online because they are the exact same person. And a lot of people look at it and they're just like, it's incest, it's disgusting, and it's wrong. But they're missing the bigger point, which is that this is the story of a girl who fell in love twice with the exact same person that she could never have. That's what the basis behind the story is. And a lot of people are going to say that it's getting kind of harem-y and whatever, but I will assure you Kirito's love is only for Asuna. No matter how many girls he encounters, it's only going to be for Asuna. Alright? If you want to think of it as a harem, then there might be in your mind, but nothing's going on between Kirito and any other characters. Alright? So that's basically it. Alright guys, that's just how things have been going. I know I said that I had 4 points, but my fourth point kind of rolled into the we're trapped in a game point. Alright? But seriously, Alphem Online was not that bad. Sword Art Online is a good series overall. The light novels are wonderful, and I hope to see all of them get animated just as good as the original. And I'm telling you guys from now, don't hate on it because of fairies. Don't hate on it because of they're trapped in a game and they're gonna die and that's not there anymore. Don't hate it anymore because there's not a lot of Asuna, because there's not a lot of Asuna anymore anyway. Because this show has taken on a much wider approach. It's not being streamlined, it's trying to do something different to what the original did, because I feel as though the writer saw what he was doing and saw how he could expand on this universe. So that's all that I have to say. If you have anything to say in reply, if you have any retorts, then feel free to leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. And I want to thank you all for watching once again, and I'm going to see you all later. Peace.